I'm sure you're seeing it. I definitely am. A lot of people are leaving the information product industry, changing their business model, doing something different, right? But then you've got guys like myself who have been above seven figures for coming up on 6 years now. And you've got people who have lasted decades in the industry. And I got to tell you something. A lot of people are acting in a lot of scarcity right now in this industry, people who sell courses or coaching. But the truth is, information isn't dead. Digital products are not dead. And the truth is, you're just doing it wrong. Okay, so in this video, you're gonna discover the super simple principles that, if you allow them to affect your day to day decision making and operations of your business, the way you design your products, the way that you market yourself online, if you allow these principles to fully impact and influence the way that you do things, you will have sustainable financial success, sustainable and lucrative financial success as an online coach. Have you ever wondered what it is that separates the extremely successful online coaches, the consultants, the course creators, etc., from the people who, they know it seems like they know everything that these guys know. You know all these things that these guys are teaching. You see, you literally, you yourself could probably teach what they teach, yet they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And here you are, stuck at 10, 20, 30, 50 grand a month. What's the difference, right? What is the difference? That's what I'm talking about in this video. And that's what I'm revealing to you in this video. And I'm not just some voice. Okay, I'll put this on the screen here. I just made this Instagram reel. You're welcome to follow me on Instagram. I was like, hey, here's like literal proof that I've had well over 400 people pay me at least $3,000 for coaching. Some of those client accounts go up towards even $60,000, $70,000 for a single client over the span of 1 or 2 years of renewals. And so I really know my stuff. Okay, and not only have I succeeded in business, but you're listening to a guy who has a healthy marriage, okay, a strong walk with God, and I'd like to think that I'm a pretty physically healthy individual too. So I haven't made any unnecessary sacrifices to have this growth as well, which a lot of people that you're going to see, they've made those sacrifices. They don't have close key personal relationships. They're not taking care of their health. They're burnt out and they're selling you a dream. That's not what I'm going to do here. What I'm going to do here is deliver to you the actual timeless principles, like I said, that if you allow them to influence the way that you run your information or coaching or course business, could allow you to build sustainable, lucrative wealth over time. Okay, and this is up-to-date stuff that's going to work moving into the future, because these aren't new strategies, like a new technique or a new software. Don't use Stripe, use WAP. Don't do this, do that. Like, none of that. It's timeless stuff that every successful individual practices, and once you learn this stuff, you can't unsee it. That's what I'm going to share with you in this video. So it's more than worth sticking around, even if you're new to the channel, because quite frankly, a lot of people, they're going to stay stuck unless they do this stuff. And this is not easy stuff, but it works. It's not stuff that's you're going to come away from this video, do 2 quick things, come back and leave a comment, hey man, I made 10 grand from this. No, it's stuff that 2 to 3 years from now, you're going to realize, oh man, that video really impacted me. And if it weren't for that video, I wouldn't be here today. That's the sort of stuff that I'm going to share with you. And I'm so confident because, quite frankly, I've been on a journey recently, redesigning my businesses for the future and building something that I really enjoy and, kind of moving into a new season. And I was thinking, well, what are the basic things that I've done every season after season, that I've made everything that I've done work? And that's really what I'm sharing with you today. When I boil it down, this is what it is. I've got clients that do $500,000 a month in their businesses. I've got clients that do 50 grand a month in their businesses. These are people who have come to me from zero, or people who have established businesses and wanted to scale them. Either way, every single one of them follows these as well. So stick around. This is a very, very important video for you to watch if you're actually serious and you're willing to make the sacrifices that other people aren't willing to make to have sustainable, profound levels of success in your life. So I'm not here to entertain. You're going to have to bear with me. But this stuff actually works. Let's start with the core of your business, okay? And the bottom is falling out from my whiteboard here, so I'm going to fix that real quick. The core of your business, a lot of people think that the core of your business is your marketing. The traffic channel you're on, YouTube, Instagram, what sort of ad funnel that you run, how you acquire the customer, okay? That's not true. People are so marketing focused that they leave out the product. Now, how do you define a good product in the coaching industry? Well, a good product is a couple of things. A good product over-delivers on the promises made. Over-delivers. Doesn't under-deliver, it over-delivers. A good product scientifically walks backwards from the outcome that somebody desires and walks them through a series of steps to take them from their current situation through the system to the outcome. Like clockwork, on repeat, rinse and repeat. And it doesn't require the owner to be involved and be attentive and one-on-one support and everything because, frankly, it's not needed. And that stuff actually hurts the customer because you have moods. You're a human, and you're going to wake up feeling one way one day and another day, and it's just like, it's not sustainable. You build a big coaching organization, again, not sustainable. You have to build products that on their own right, without one-on-one support, can drive outcomes. And how do you do this? Well, I'm currently designing a new business. I've got a couple of different coaching brands that I run, and I love starting coaching businesses. It's really fun. And I was talking to the head of this company we're doing. So I'm doing all the marketing. We're doing a 70-30 split. He keeps 30, I keep 70, and he's building the entire product. I'm kind of coaching him on the process. And I was telling him, don't build a product that is like a pedal, where you have to pedal in order to keep client results going. Build a product. Take the time on the front end to design a coaching product, a course, hours of material that go in depth, that actually drive the outcome, and go really niche into small little things that 6 people are going to appreciate. But those 6 people, if they watch it, are actually going to get astounding results. See, the problem is we're so customer acquisition focused as an industry that we're not thinking about how to design good products. And good product design is never done. This is another thing that people have forgotten. Amazon updates their API and their website constantly. They're always making a better version of Amazon. Tesla's always coming out with a new car. Apple's making updates to their phone, their iOS, the product. The product is never done. So you have to be product and customer obsessed. You can't just be marketing obsessed. This is, again, why it's really very hard to succeed in the industry right now, because you have to be able to do both very, very well. And these are extremely intellectually demanding skill sets. So it's not for everybody. Like, building a successful coaching or course company is not for everybody. It's just not. Most people are straight up not willing to master these skills. They're not willing to master marketing, copywriting, and sales, and then also master product design and customer experience. But you have to be willing to master these things, because if you give it 90%, you're going to get a little bit out. But if you give it 100%, that final 10% is worth millions of dollars to you. Okay? So product design is being completely lost. And the noise and the sea of, hey, I just want to, make a bunch of money and sell courses and coaching. So good products, examples of good products, quite frankly, I haven't seen anybody do it like Sam Ovens did it back in the day. A lot of people, they only know Sam Ovens for school. You guys, you don't understand. He's the OG when it comes to designing good products. If you want to know what it looks like to design a good course product, go pay somebody for access to a copy of his accelerator and up-level programs. He's the only guy that I know that actually took the time at scale to build products that worked at scale. And the way that he thought about it was, hey, I've got this outcome I want to drive for somebody. What are the pillars that they have to do, and how do I break those pillars into key points and key action items? Okay? And that inspired my approach. And in the programs that I launched, like we've just crossed 50 members and a $4,800 product, and we launched it into last year. Cold traffic, pure cold ads, has nothing to do with my audience or my brand here. And we've got great client results. And that's because the leader that I had building that offer over there, I said, hey, dude, here's how you design it. Here's the mindset behind it. A, it's never done. B, build it like a system. C, work backwards from the end. D, don't just teach the what, but teach the why. And teach the headspace, the mindset stuff behind it. People aren't going into human behavior psychology. They just assume that people at surface appreciate the concepts they're teaching, but they don't teach from a place of understanding the psychology of the customer. And everybody's psychology is the same. Everybody has fears and pains that they don't want and desires that they do want. Everybody lives in a behavioral loop, and if you can affect somebody's behavioral loop, then you can actually get them to take action and get results. So you're not just showing them concepts and teaching them ideas. The reason why dispute rates are so high and refund rates are so high is nobody's willing to design frankly, the people who are willing to design it make way more money, but nobody's willing to design an effective, mindset section of the program, an effective, hey, here's how we think about things. Here's why what we do works so well. Here's how you need to learn how to think in order for this system to actually work. They just say, do this, do this, do this, do this. They're not doing worldview and belief transfer. Worldview and belief transfer is the way that you create customer experiences that are astounding. Back in 2021, 2022, I had a program called the Consulting Blueprint, and only recently have I shut down enrollment. I still actually do the group calls. I'm still active in the community. I just shut down enrollment because I'm trying to build, a different business, right? And in that program, I had mindset training. I showed people how to rethink their view of money, how to rethink their view of themselves, how to rethink their psychology, how to rethink the way that they process information and their behaviors and the patterns and habits that they have and everything. Sure, it was a business program, but I showed people how to think. And that's why people got results. People who studied the sales training and studied the mindset training always got results. It's that simple. Because I was transferring my worldview, the worldview that I've developed over, tons of books and materials and over 200 grand spent on my own consultants and courses that I've been a part of and everything. And so I'm not just saying, hey, do this, do this, do this. I'm saying, here's how to think. Here's how to process this. Here's what you probably believe that isn't true, and here's what you need to learn how to believe now because this is actually going to help you get results. For example, if you're in a B2C niche and you're like a business opportunity thing, I'm telling you, dude, scarcity is a belief system you have to unwire from your customers. It just is. You're dealing with people who live in scarcity, and they think they're right. They think that the world is scarce. They don't see the world like you and I do. Where $1 million is just $1 million, dude. It's like not a big deal. Money's not a big deal. You're above money. If you're a viewer of my channel, you probably think that way. If you don't think that way, you need to keep watching my channel. Okay? But these people, they don't think like this. So you have to take the time and slow down and build trainings that get them to a place where they can receive the strategies. If you don't walk people up and you just start with step 5 when they're at step 1, they're not going to know how to take step 2, 3, 4 on their own. You're just going right to step 5, and you have a lot of what happens is people have what's called unconscious competence. This means you're a real expert at something, but you don't know how to level with somebody who isn't, so you can't walk them up into it. Because you've just been doing it for so long, you don't know how the typical person thinks. And so you're not taking the time to design products that meet people where they're at. You're just saying, do this, do this, do this. That's why your customers say you're a scam. That's why they say that you aren't legitimate. It's because you're not building products that actually level where people are at and walk them up into the belief system and the way of thinking that then enables them to install the strategies and the mechanism into their life or their business so that they can win with your product. You have to understand you're dealing with people, not robots, and people are extremely emotional, even in B2B settings. Even in B2B settings, okay? Nobody makes logical decisions. There's no such thing as a logical decision. Even logical decisions are based in emotion. The emotion wants to make the decision and is looking for logic to justify it. Every human makes emotional decisions, and you're dealing with deeply emotional creatures. And if you don't know how to work with deeply emotional creatures and influence their behavioral patterns, then you can't build good products. Doesn't matter if you're in a make money niche, a weight loss niche, a personal finance niche, relationship niche, doesn't matter. You have to learn how to tell stories and persuade inside of your product. Just like your marketing is a means to get somebody to buy through creative copywriting and persuasion, your product is it's a copywriting piece in of itself. You're influencing people to consume the rest of the product, to take the action, to show up on the calls, to do the work. And if you don't think like that, you don't see your product as another funnel, as another set of marketing steps that you're walking people down to actually take the process seriously and get results with it, then you're going to design low quality products that won't help people. Okay? It's very easy to just throw together a Google Doc course. Just do some Loom videos, Google Docs, whatever. But then that's not ultimately helpful, right? If you look at, for example, the Bible, right? I'm a Christian. The Bible is all about Jesus going to the cross and being crucified and sanctifying us of our sins. And I'm not trying to push my religion on anybody, okay? Chill. I'm a Christian. Deal with it, okay? But there's the whole expansive rest of the Bible about what does this mean? How does this work? How should we behave? What is this? It's really, all the Bible is like a couple chapters in Matthew. Jesus was born, and then he died for your sins, and you're forgiven, and if you know him, you're forgiven. It's like, that's it. That's one page of, in order for it to be life transformative and actually have an effect on the person, you have to peel open and digest every single component of what that means. That's why the Bible is such a thick book. People are designing these quick, short, snappy programs just for the sake of it. And they're not thinking about the way that they're solving the problems for their customer at the end of the day. They're just throwing something together, okay? So let's move on. That's product. And I mean, I have other videos on product design, but that's the first thing. You're not selling information. Even that phrase is broken. You're not selling information. I hate that. You can get information on Google. What you're selling is transformation through a series of well thought through steps and a well thought through process. Information is free. I agree with the consumer in that way. I agree. You don't need courses. If you just want information, go use AI, go use ChatGPT, ask it questions. It's going to tell you. What you're able to sell as a course seller, as a consultant, as a coach is transformation. And transformation is delivered by understanding this little graph right here, okay? This is a really, really helpful graph. I want you to think about this. Everybody starts off at a different starting point when they join your program, okay? Your job is to have a course that contextualizes them and gets them understanding basic principles and basic strategies that then get everybody up to speed so that your group support or your community is actually helpful. So this guy has never done anything like this before, super confused, super nervous, goes through this, oh, he's up to speed, okay, now he's good. This person's been in it for a long time, but they appreciate your strategy, not a lot of ramp up, but now they're good and they get your support. So you got to design a product that gets everybody into your way of thinking, okay? Not just Google Doc, do this, do this, do this. That's such BS. It's insane, okay? Take the time to distill why you think what you think and transfer that to people. And in my programs and in my clients' programs, I'm a huge believer in recommending books, okay? You don't have to have all the answers. It's like, hey, I got this from this book, okay? And if you want more on this topic, go get this book. It's not an affiliate link. You should read this book because if you can influence somebody's belief system, then you can get them to take the actions in accordance with that belief system. And then if you give them a good basic strategy, they're going to crush it, okay? Belief systems are the entire thing that we're influencing as coaches and course sellers and consultants. We're not necessarily teaching strategies. We're installing belief systems. And if you can install good belief systems that align with good strategies, people get results. People focus on strategies instead of transferring belief systems. Okay, so that's probably another good point of product, all right? So let's move on. Another reason why people aren't lasting in the industry, and this is a big one, is they're stuck in the freaking bubble, dude. The bubble. And what am I talking about? Well, some of you already know what I'm talking about. And the bubble is everybody else that's in the space and what they're doing. And you comparing to what they're doing and thinking that, you know, there's no way that you could win because they're doing it first and they've already said that and you're not the first to say it and da-da-da-da-da. And the internet marketer bubble of internet marketers who sell to internet marketers other internet marketing solutions. It's ridiculous. If you get outside of this bubble just a little bit, there is so much money to be made. It's actually insane. Okay, but the problem is everybody's selling to everybody else the same thing. And so how do you actually get out of the bubble? Well, in order to get out of the bubble, you have to first understand what we're selling. Okay, so at its core, a good way of thinking about what we're selling is just like how big industries, like let's call Toyota. Toyota has effectively two functions to its business. It has the product and it has the distribution. Okay, so the product and the distribution. In our industry, everybody's selling the same products on the same distribution channels. That's why they're in a bubble. Okay, so new products and new distribution channels is how you get out of the bubble. Okay. Now, what is the product with a coaching or consulting business? In my opinion, and this, you could probably argue this is different, but in my opinion, the product is the mechanism. Okay, it's the core thing that you teach that drives the outcome. For example, one of my clients, Alex, helps people get software jobs if they're a software engineer, and his mechanism is software apprenticing. I helped him design that. He now does $100,000 a month with his business because we rethought his messaging and launched his ads. Okay, and by the way, links in the description if you want to get my help. I hear it from all the time. People are like, oh, I'll work with you when I have this figured out. Or I'll work with you when I get to $20,000 a month. Or I'll work with you when I figure out my ICP. Or I'll work with you when people make all these excuses, dude. And don't get me wrong, I totally get it. I've been on your side of things before. But the truth is, man, like I just don't know many people who have been in the space like I have for as long as I have and done as well as I have. There's very few. You know what I mean? I've got a little bit of like survivor's guilt almost. Like there's just so few. So I get that, but at the same time, like the sooner I can be a part of things, the sooner I can influence everything, because it's all a big system. Saying, oh, I want to figure this out myself, and then come to you, it's like, dude, we're gonna have to rewrite it anyway. 100% of the clients that come to me, we rewrite everything. Okay, so anyway, links in the description if you want to learn more about that. But the bubble is everybody's selling the same mechanisms to the same groups using the same distribution channels, and that creates a bubble. And everybody thinks info's dead because they're looking inside of this bubble. But if you go outside of the bubble just a little bit, okay, so in our other company, right, I said this earlier, but we crossed 50 members in a $4,800 offer. That's selling to Christian men, okay, which they're not very effectively marketed to very often. And I can do that because I am one. And then at the same time, it's a new kind of strategy people haven't really heard of before. New thing that they haven't really heard of before. So it's a new mechanism to a new group. And then guess what? It's easy. It's simple. It's super straightforward. But the problem is, same mechanism, same group, same delivery channels. So even with my business here, with the helping other people start consulting businesses, the thing that makes me different is me. It's my story. That's why I do this organically. I don't do a lot of ads for this. It's because people want to work with me. People want to work with Trey. So I have a different mechanism just by default because this is all organic marketing. But I'm talking paid advertisers, people who are marketing to marketers. This is a big bubble. The way out of it is honestly just to go after different groups or just think a little bit about positioning yourself uniquely. So the problem is I'm going to give you an identity that if you embody is going to help you succeed. You have to see yourself as an inventor. Become an inventor. Inventing new solutions to problems for new groups of people. Or new solutions for problems, for old groups. That's fine too. But either way, this idea of just like, I'm just going to take what they do and do it myself, it's like, that's a really, really stupid idea. That's a really, really dumb idea. Humans are inventors by nature. We all invent solutions to our own problems every single day. Every day, you're walking around and you interface with a new thing, and then you come up with a way to solve it, and you solve. That's what it means to be a human. But people have forgotten this. So you can invent new mechanisms, new strategies, new approaches to old problems. You can invent new distribution channels, new ways of marketing. You know what I mean? You can invent and pioneer new groups by educating new groups of people on a problem. So you can literally invent marketplaces. You can invent new things to do. But the problem is people just don't know how to invent. They don't know how to actually create new problems to solutions, or new solutions to problems. The way that you do this, and this is something that Jeff Bezos talks about a lot, and this right here is gonna, if you just really pay attention to this is gonna tell you why so many people aren't standing the test of time. Jeff Bezos says something so cool about inventing, and this is, by the way, one of the richest people on the planet. So if he says it, you really should listen. He said this on a Lex Friedman podcast, and he said, in order to invent new solutions, you have to give yourself permission to wander. Permission to wander. The problem is, most entrepreneurs want success right now. They want to succeed right now, this month, because they're envious of other people who are succeeding, or they feel bad about themselves, and they have to fill the void with something, So the problem is they're not giving themselves permission to wander. Okay? I've given myself permission to wander. I've slowed my business way down, essentially to a halt, multiple times, because I'm like, I don't really feel like the solutions are really as effective as I want them to be. I want better solutions. I just feel like I'm not doing that great a job. Like, this is good. I can keep selling this, but it's just not that good. So I'm going to slow down. I don't want to wander for a while. I'm going to read some books. I'm going to talk to some mentors. I'm going to look at other people who are doing. I'm going to kind of pick up pieces from them, join some new masterminds, get into some good reading material, get into some new courses, whatever. And I'm also going to just like test in my own instances, my own approach, and see how it does. But the problem is people want results right now, so they're not willing to wander. And that's the nature of this industry, is people just aren't slowing down to come up with better stuff. It's that simple. Every other business knows this. Every other industry knows this. You can't just sell the same freaking product as everybody else. It's that simple. Like, what a concept, right? But the problem is people just don't wander. They don't wander. And wandering might take 2 weeks. It might take 2 years. Okay? But willing to wander, willing to just say, you know what? I'm going to detach from my old way of doing things and see if I can find a new, better way. I just feel like maybe what I'm doing right now is not the best for people. Maybe there's a better way to do this. Nobody's willing to do that, okay? Nobody's willing to go back to the drawing board because they're operating in scarcity. They have this idea that if they slow down, everything's going to be gone, which is like such a silly idea. Like, that's not how it works. Coming from somebody who's slowed things down a couple times to build a better thing, that is not how it works at all. Okay. You know, when you kind of like build a new mechanism or you invent a better approach, then you kind of like go on tour for like 2 years. You know, you push it, and you kind of like, you know, it's like the Taylor Swift Eras tour. You know, she made like $1 billion, right? It's the same thing in this industry. Find a better way, go on tour, right? Kind of starts to die out. All right, let's find a better way. Let's invent a better process here. Find a better way, invent it, go on tour. You know, that lasts probably 2 to 5 years, sometimes longer. You have people like Dave Ramsey who's run on his baby steps for freaking 30 years, dude. Okay? So you don't have to invent a new thing all the time. Sometimes you have to just position it different every now and again. So you don't have to have a new core. Sometimes you have to have a new way of communicating it. Okay? But either way, just be an inventor. Like, stop getting stuck in the same rigid way of thinking. This is not a business for security. Okay? This is a business for invention and intellectual pioneering and figuring out new stuff. If you want security, do what I'm planning on doing. I'm planning on buying some parking garages, dude. I mean, nothing's confirmed, but I'm like, bro, if I can cash flow 50 grand a month from parking garages, which make another video about that if you want. Boring businesses are, you know, this business is about having fun and solving problems for people. It's not about security. Throw security out the window. There's this idea that like if you're trying to win the game, if you're trying to win a boxing match, but you're not willing to get hit, then you're not gonna win the boxing match. You got to put yourself in the ring. You're gonna get smacked in the face, dude. But you're not willing to do that, you're not going to win the game, okay? Get on the roller coaster. This is not a game of security. This is a game of big wins, okay? This is a game of hitting it big and creating something epic and going hard and creating something amazing and lasting, you know, 3 to 8 years. That's this industry, okay? You want something stable, secure, steady? Go start an accounting firm. Straight up, I'm not even kidding. Like, these flashy, sexy businesses are just not where you're going to create security. Where you're going to create security is in the stuff that's like never changing. Taxes, real estate, stuff like that, okay? I'm a personality type. I don't really need security. I like building stuff. So my security is in my creativity, if anything. Anyway, big bubble, get out of it. New mechanisms, new approaches, new groups of people, new distribution channels. Tesla, new mechanism, new product, electric cars. New distribution channels. They don't have middlemen, dealerships. It's all Tesla-owned dealerships, okay? So they don't have, you know, like Toyota can have like, you know, John blank, Toyota, you know what I mean? Like, but Tesla doesn't have that. It's just Tesla. So new distribution channels, new mechanisms. And you can also order a Tesla off their apps. It's new distribution, right? And also it's like personal brand driven, which is like new distribution. So new mechanism, new distribution. So be an inventor. Try new stuff. Don't get stuck in the old patterns. Okay. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is learning to think like an investor. Okay? And I'm not saying this to sound smarter than I actually am. Okay? I'm not that smart. Genuinely, I'm not that smart. I put a lot of effort into things, and I really try, and I think things through. Seemingly, it seems like a little bit more than people tend to. I don't know what it is, but... So thinking like an investor basically means understanding the effects of time. So you have results, and you have time. What people want is this. Blanc. They want to go right from zero to right to here. Okay? They want to make a bunch of money really, really quick. Because again, they're thinking in scarcity. Okay, they're trying to get out of the situation that they're in. You just dude, give it some time. Okay, and what's gonna happen is over time it's gonna kind of look like this, right? It's gonna ups and downs, but you're gonna get there. And holding this is a lot easier than holding this. What a concept! But the truth is, everybody who's done well, this is what their journey looks like. Everybody that you're comparing to, everybody that you're like, whoa, man, I want to have their results. This is it, dude. This is it. You might not see this. You might only see the peak. The problem is you're seeing peaks. You know, if you see a peak, you don't know what happened here. But you see a peak. You see they're making a bunch of money. This guy's also making a bunch of money. But the problem is you don't know how steady this is. You don't know how sturdy this is. This guy took the time to build a great product and a great business and a great team with multiple marketing channels, right? And a good cash tax strategy, a good investment strategy to hold their funds, and they've gotten here, right? This guy is just, you know, a high-pressure salesperson with a decent funnel, okay? And they make a bunch of money, but not sturdy, not stable. I've got buddies who had $4 million cash, $5 million cash. They have like nothing now, okay? The Bible talks about it. Wealth hastily gained is hastily lost. So gain wealth steadily and slowly. And wealth in a business sphere is skills, connections, leverage, strategy, lessons. And that just takes time. It's okay. Stop being in such a hurry. Okay? It's that simple. Don't be in such a hurry to have success. Why are you in such a hurry? What are you trying to prove? Who are you trying to prove it to? Are you sure that's healthy? Like, really, it's not that big a deal to not succeed for a year or two while you're working on something. It's okay. Like, who cares? Like, why are you comparing so much? And so this has helped me so much. Like, I don't need to. I'm okay. Everything's okay. I want to learn. I want to grow. I'm not in any hurry. Okay. Even if right now you have a ton of debt hanging over you, and a ton of tax debt and everything, and you're completely broke. Like, dude, you're still alive. And you have time ahead of you. You're not going to die unless you're like in jail, okay? Like, you got to really understand what real struggle is and pace yourself, okay? And this is such simple advice, but it's so ignored because people don't want to wait. They don't want their success to come over time. They want success right now. And if they don't get success right now, then they assume they're doing something wrong because everybody else is touting their quick success. But how many of those people who tout quick success do you hear from 3 years from now? Just pay attention to that. It'll be a small handful. And you'll feel very glad that you took my advice here and built an amazing product and a new mechanism, a new distribution channel, and really took the time to develop your skills, leadership skills, cash flow skills, marketing skills, copywriting skills, sales skills, team skills. You know what I mean? Oh, skills. Stack the skills, stack your leverage. This content, this platform, this organic platform is leverage for me. I pretty much passively bring in like 50 to 100 grand a month from this YouTube channel. I have to do very little. Probably even like my best week from just this YouTube channel was 100 grand in a single week. Just this YouTube channel. Why? It's this. Steady compounding growth, thinking like an investor. I don't need results right now. Investors who are trying to get results right now, we call them day traders. You know what a day trader is? Broke. Like, there's a handful that make it. A handful. And when they make it, odds of them keeping it, very slim. Okay? And yeah, it's like, I remember if I were telling myself this at 19, I'd be like, oh, you don't understand day trading. Some people actually have a good strategy for analyzing stocks and analyzing their portfolio and making hedged bets and da-da-da. It's like, okay, dude, sure. Like, for you, 3 years is a long time to hold success because you're 19. I'm talking decades, my dude. Do you actually have the ability to hold your success for decades? You don't. And unless you're building a business that can do that, then, dude, really rethink your strategy. Okay, that's it. I mean, I have so many more things I can go into. But I just want to make a quick video about like why info is dead, why it's dying, and what you can do about it. And I hope that I fulfilled my promise at the beginning of this video where I talked about I'm gonna help you discover some basic principles that truly, if you come back to this video, will make you succeed. Okay? Enjoy. Thank you for watching. And see you in the next videos.